Alright, hello class, this is Miss Tran again, and let me tell you about a second tool that you can use on DocsTeach.org, which is really helpful for organizing your primary source documents. So let's say we're not necessarily debating an issue like I was talking about in the other video. So now I'm going to choose a different historical topic and a different activity, and this one is called Making Connections. So if you go to DocsTeach.org as usual, and just follow the same process as I showed you in the last video. You just go to the link where you explore activities, and then you click on the time period in which you are studying, and then you find a lot of different activities. And so I chose Landing a Man on the Moon, President Nixon and the Apollo program for this demonstration. So we're just going to start the activity by clicking on it. Alright, and then we're going to now read the directions. So making connections. Landing a Man on the Moon, President Nixon and the Apollo program. Who was president when astronaut Neil Armstrong first walked on the moon? And who was president during Apollo 17, America's last lunar mission? If you answered President Nixon, you are correct. The artifacts in this activity document the birth of the Apollo program, the triumph of Apollo 11, and what many consider the end of the space race. Carefully study the contents of each box to answer the questions and learn more about our nation's quest to land a man on the moon. So for this activity, you're going to also need a piece of paper and pen out, because there will be questions that you're going to answer along the way. So you're going to start this activity. Alright. So there are many different boxes, as you can see, and they're all linked together. And it kind of shows you a sequence of events. And so this is a great analysis tool, because when you get primary source documents, sometimes you don't know how they are connected or related to one another. So this is a great tool for connecting them all together and kind of giving you a sequence of how and when the events happened and how one occurred after the other. It also shows you some cause and effect. So you're going to first start at the very beginning, click on that box, and just read this. So it tells you a blurb, and then it asks a question. How did this dream become a reality? Which presidents played a role in the success? And what was accomplished in Apollo missions 1 through 10, and what happened after Apollo 11? Follow the document trail to learn more about President Nixon and America's lunar legacy. Record your answers to the questions as you go. So these are your guiding questions right here. And then pretty much you're going to follow the directions. So you're going to follow the document trail and answer the questions on your piece of paper. So based on President Kennedy's speech and the government report that you will see in the next two boxes, do you think that the United States or the Soviet Union was winning the space race when Kennedy issued his national challenge to land a man on the moon? And why did President Kennedy think the moon landing was important? Okay, so since all of you are 7th graders, you haven't learned about any of this yet. However, this is more of a demonstration of the tool itself, so let's just ignore the content for now. But, so afterward, you're going to look at the two documents, and then make sure you look at the details to see what it is. Okay, and the second document, and then after you answer those questions, now you're going to move on to the next question. And as you see, it's kind of like this historical journey that you're taking, and then when you finally get to the end, you press I'm done, and then now you're going to have a final write-up. So, no one on Earth has visited the moon since Apollo 17 left the lunar soil in December 1972. What compelled the space race of the 1960s and 1970s? Why do you think it came to an end? Do you think the United States should go back to the moon? Alright, so you would enter in your email address. Well, no, this is where you'd enter my email address, and this is where you'd enter your own. And then you're going to answer this question in the response box. So after you finish this entire interactive activity, you are going to kind of reflect on what you learned by answering these questions, and then you're going to send me the email. And so although this topic is not what we're learning, when we are learning about medieval Europe and we have documents and paintings or different primary source documents that have that need to be organized, one way you can organize it is by trying to find the connections between all the documents. So this is a great tool to use that on and kind of reflect on how all the documents connect and how all the historical events connect together. And that's it.